So good evening friends, this is Rahul Magan here is a Group Chief Executive Officer at Treasury Consulting and also a venture capitalist. Today we're going to talk a very sensitive video that how small and medium term enterprises can grow in the life. You know that we started from scratch and slowly we reach here, and maybe God willing soon we would be reaching to $200 million by December 20 and would be a unicorn by 2022 and 23. But in this journey, a lot of time we are meeting with a lot of startup enterprises, small and medium term enterprises who not been able to reach to where they should be, where they are. So mentoring is very much necessary. I don't want you to name any venture capitalists, but you know that after Uber IPO, there were several venture capitalists who came into the picture, and we saw that their motivation is not mentoring, not at all. Their motivation is simple: money. If they are getting the money, maybe at the cost of ethics, doesn't make any sense. They really want money, that's why. But our, as a venture capitalist, our is not that. Our is the mentoring. That is. I strongly feel that as a startup enterprise, the following are the things that you should be taken care of if you really wish to grow in your life. Now, first of all, we need to understand that as a startup enterprise, there are two options for you. One option is you can set up a business in which there are so many people. Like yesterday, I went to one of the, I would say, kind of exhibition come startup session, which is Echelon 2019 that happened at Changi Airport, basically at Changi Expo. There were several startups, and I asked a lot of questions from the startup, but they were more or less clueless how to answer these questions. But I have made a list from my interaction yesterday, and I'm going to sharing the list that what is the exactly problem these startups are facing and how can we resolve that. Of course, I hereby take an indemnification that I'm not going to mentioning the name of any startup, that's for sure. Alternatively, I have no solution for all problem. I'm not a person who have solution for all problem. That whatever problem we have in this universe, I have a solution for that. But whatever best solution I can offer, I will surely be offer. I know that after watching this video, there would be many people from India, those who feel irritated, but this is our actual goal is. Our actual goal is to make them irritated and to continue to innovate people in that direction, right? I strongly feel that any economy of the globe, either it is United States, it is Singapore, it is Hong Kong, it is Malaysia, Dubai, or any, it cannot grow until the startup is strong. Because the startup and oblique SME, they are the backbone of any economy. Like Singapore is thriving only because, see, any government of the globe, no offense to India, no offense to US or to Singapore, any government of the globe cannot give more than 20% of the job because they have their restrictions and conceit, and companies and countries like Singapore and US who have made their mindset that they want more and more things to privatize, whereby privatization doesn't mean that it's a cartelization. Privatization means that they want more and more players into the system so that the final beneficiary would be the customer. So there is a difference. One is the privatization model we have in India, wherein only one or two business groups are enjoying. You know the name of these groups. Apart from these two or three business groups, no one is enjoying. Alternatively, privatization is privatization of Singaporean model like electricity, wherein they are inviting more and more people to come in this direction so that the final beneficiary has to be consumer. So it's up to purpose. Number one, the country is not dependent on these institutions are run by the government. Rather, the government focus on the key things, innovative things, while the ultimate beneficiary remains the consumer. This is the rightest model. But in this direction, so government only generate 20% of the job, but the major job is coming from the startup oblique SMEs. Startup oblique SMEs have their own problems. They have their own hardlands on which they have to run. Some people fall, we also fell a lot of time. Some people win it. But in the longer tenor, you should not be like Uber, Ola, Paytm, Zomato, Swiggy, who might be big companies on paper but always in the losses. And the numbers which they proclaim is always doubtful. Now these are the problems which I listed as far as the SMEs are concerned, and these SMEs problem I have listed from a Singaporean angle. Of course, few of these problems would be possibly replicated to Indian angle also. Number one, 50%, and this some data has been taken from the recent survey which DBS actually did in Singapore, somewhere February 2019 or 18. I take an indemnification, I think it's 18 or 19. So 50% of the SME in Singapore said that they do not have the right talent in place. I absolutely agree. Having talent is one of the biggest problems for small and medium term enterprises, but I have a solution to that. The solution, or I will tell you problem and also solution. The solution is that if the founder of the startup oblique SME is functionally competent person, then this startup has to grow. I would like to name few startups. Apple 1975, Microsoft 1976. Maybe dates may interchange because I always not sure who came first, who came later, but I think it's Apple who came later and Microsoft came in 1975. So here I take an indemnification because both are my favorite companies, and especially Apple. Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Google, they all into the technological business, different areas, different expertise, different USPs and all, doesn't matter. But they are all successful. Reason is, if you holistically see these startups, oblique, when they were startup in 1975, their founders are completely fundamental, very strong in technical aspect. Mr. Jobs, a lot of people criticize him that he never coded a line, but coding a line is not the only thing a person should know. He knows what product to make, how to make, when to make, and how to launch. Not many people know that when iPhone was launched, it was actually the turn of an iPad. So iPad was ready before iPhone. But Mr. Jobs, what he did, he deferred iPad, although it was completely ready, set to launch, but in such a confidential way that no one get to know, he launched iPhone. iPhone turned out to be a realistic success in the history of Apple, and Apple converted from Apple computers to Apple Inc. And then came the iPad, and iPad success after success. Mr. Bill Gates, exceptionally competent people as far as the operating system is concerned, computers are concerned. Not to mention about the Google founder, their competence, I have no words. Exceptional. If I would have better word than exceptional, I would have said that. Zuckerberg and many examples. SMEs always have talent problem, but the biggest remedy of that talent problem, if the founder is functionally competent, then most of the jobs are done. Second is hands-on. Now there is one thing which is hands-on deck approach versus deep domain expertise approach. In India, we call this as the body shopping business. Indian IT companies, TCS, SCL, Wipro and all, they not been able to reach, like if we add the top line of these four companies, SCL, Wipro, Infi and TCS, and add them, it might not be 1/10 of what Apple is earning. Or maybe it would be 1/5 of Apple, very lesser than that. Why Apple reached here? Why they together four cannot be reached here? Like if I'm not incorrect, then TCS is closer to 20 billion, SCL is 5 billion, 25, Wipro is also 5 or something, which is 30, and Infi is closer by 15, which is 30 plus 15, which is 45. These four IT companies, right? Apple per year is making 250 to 280 billion, if I'm not incorrect. 250 to 280 billion, which means 20% of that, 1/5, is closer to approximately 50 billion. No, 20% is 1/5. Yes, this is 50 billion. So Apple 20% revenue is 50 billion, while if I add 4, their revenue is 45 billion. Now either Apple is wrong or they are wrong. Because Indian IT companies always followed one model, which is body shopping business. What is body shopping business? Hire as many as bodies. Hire as many as bodies. If you want few on the bench, let it be. Bill them $100, $110, $120, whatever dollars, and no expertise required. The same model being copied in the ITS domain, information technology enabled services, which include examples like EXL, Genpact, Accenture, Cognizant. All the Cognizant comes together. It is IT and ITES like Aegis and many. Where these companies are, we know very well. These companies are also losing because of automation, because of cloud compounding. But companies like Apple, Microsoft, Google, Facebook, and other successful companies in technological domain, they followed deep domain expertise. Alibaba, Amazon. A lot of people came to me and give an example that, Rahul, you always say that Paytm is in loss. How can it be unicorn? Amazon was in loss for 14 years. I said, hold on. Amazon was not having the economic downturn when Jeff Bezos was running Amazon. Today, business environment is completely different than Jeff Bezos. When he founded somewhere in 90s, business environment was not having machine learning, cloud analytics, big data analytics, artificial intelligence, cyber security. If you know the Jeff Bezos number, because I don't have his number, you just ask him, sir, and I would like to ask him on as a personal capacity, sir, I have a deep respect for you. There is no doubt about that. And if my Lord will permit, I would make my bank like you, who would cover everything. But with your permission, I would like to ask one question. When you founded in 1990s, even at the back of your mind, you were having any idea of cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, machine learning, cloud analytics? We all have your video, your photo, when on the same table you were sitting, one table was having almost everything. And we understand, sir, this is how startup works. Today, startups having different problem than you are having. So your example should not be putting as an example for Paytm, Ola and Uber that they would be successful. That's it. So I strongly feel that the hands on deck, which is alternately known as body shopping in India, this is not a sustainable model anyways. Why are we talking sustainable model? Because this model has already died worldwide. Then we have multi-talent. I strongly agree with this fact that SME is the biggest challenge for SME is to hold the multi-talent employees. Now there are many employees worldwide, those who are multi-talented. And since they are multi-talented, it is very difficult for the founder of a small and medium-term enterprise to hold them, to make sure them to stay in that company. Because a multi-talent employee is not always salary-hungry people. There are two kinds of employees that work in your organization. One is a salary-hungry people. Now, salary-hungry people is not about salary. Salary-hungry people about designation, business class travel, 7-star accommodation, first class travel, trophies, awards, salaries. One is knowledge-hungry people. Those who wanted to learn something. The real reason behind the success of the Apple and why Apple is able to effectively from 95, when Mr. Jobs came again and on the board, is that he hired a lot of people, those who were basically knowledge-hungry people. Jonathan I never said that the knowledge-hungry people do not deserve salary. Please don't take me that way. Knowledge-hungry people should be appropriately paid. But at the same time, we need to appreciate that the SME should have more knowledge-hungry people than the salary-hungry people. And the founder should have the eyes to see that what kind of person he is. When Treasury Consulting would be a bank, because we are heading as a bank, and if I would be alive, and of course I would be, I would continue to see that my employee on my board has to be salary-hungry people. I again would like to indemnify that salary-hungry have to be knowledge-hungry people. I again would like to clarify that knowledge-hungry people doesn't mean that he don't deserve good salary. So my comment should not be taken in that regards. Fourth point is adaptive skills versus training model. I think that the training model is dead. And once again, Indian IT companies is a right example of that. Indian IT companies were having thousands of people on the bench. I still recall my days in SCL, Hindustan Computers Limited, wherein at one point of time, although I served just 2.5 years in SCL, but at one point of time I got to know SCL is having 25,000 people on the bench. Now I don't know how many people are IT savvy, but if you are, you would have get to know that bench means that you have no work, but you are expecting the project to come. 25,000 people on the bench. So this training model by the corporate is getting dead, but that doesn't mean that it is totally dead. Employee has to learn himself or herself. Don't expect that companies to train you every time. And the reason is that why companies train you? Tell me. I'm not asking as an entrepreneur. Why companies train you? If companies want the employee to be rightly available on demand, I go to market and buy. Why do I train you? What is the guarantee that if I give you a training, you would be a good resource? No. I go to the market and buy that product. And that is one of the reasons why the gig economy is growing at leap and bounds in Singapore. Singapore turning out to be the place for the gig economy, because gig economy means if you need people, you can buy in the market and buy rather than training your people. Fifth is, and this is where I strongly agree, many eyebrows will raised in India, doesn't matter. B schools are not responsive, henceforth huge on-demand training are required, which creates bottom line pressures. All those people, those who do not know bottom line means PAT, profit after tax. I fully agree, B schools are not responsive. They are producing donkeys. Since they are producing donkeys, corporate left with no option but to hire them. If they left with no option but to hire them, they need to train them. It includes a cost. Since it includes the cost, corporate needs MBA institutions who act like a McDonald's, like a Pizza Hut, like a Subway. You go, buy what you want, 5 minutes, thank you. No sitting. Takeaway. B schools needs to learn the takeaway model. And that takeaway model can only be possible if B schools will stop thinking like making money. Education is not making money. Education is you are serving the society. Business is for making money. Don't make education as a business, right? And here Indian B schools are number one. I have given a lot of examples and a lot of time people reacts, but does it matter? No. Indian B schools are perfect example how education can be a money oriented center without quoting the name. That is. Next is VC funded SMEs can afford more payment while the non-VC cannot. I absolutely agree. There are many venture capitalist funded companies we have. They can afford more payment. That's not their money. At the end, they burn the money. But non-VC funded cannot afford more money. And I think this is the real challenge for every founder, including me. I am not VC funded, but I am profitable. But can I afford the payments like a VC funded? No, definitely not. That's challenge for all the companies, those who have crossed SME and moving towards big companies. That's a challenge, and that challenge unfortunately is having no answer now. And I am also looking for an answer, but unfortunately there is not much impact I have on the board. Second last, inspired by the vision of entrepreneur, that is, I fully agree. Most of the SMEs employees leave because they never see their entrepreneur is a visionary person. They see their entrepreneur is a person who is not giving any knowledge. I would like to ask one question here with everyone. I hope that at least 50% of the people, those who are watching my video, at least have 2 changes in their jobs. Please write us on the comment section, how many of you think that you are leaving organization not because of salary, but because of the boss? So alternatively asking the same question, even if your salary will grow by 2%, 3%, whatever percentage, while the industry is giving 10%, but your boss is giving you good knowledge, learning, lot of new things, action, innovation, you will not leave. Or I ask this question round bit. Your boss is giving you knowledge, action, innovation, new things, adventure, but salary is giving you 3% hike. While somebody else, boss is dhila dhala, no action, nothing much, no reaction, no fighting, no innovation, but giving you 20% hike. How many of you go with this boss and how many of you go with action boss? Let me know. I go with action boss. That's my answer. 8th and last, employees prefer brands versus SME. How to answer that? One of the SMEs asked this question from me. I absolutely agree. Employee prefer brands. I am heading as a full-time consultancy company offering everything. But if I need to hire, and if EY, Einstein Young, KPMG, Deloitte will give him an offer, I am damn sure he will go for EY. But how can I stop that person? Only one way. I do something, launch that product, which EY, KPMG, Deloitte, PwC do not have. I do something, he feels I have to stay here for 1 year to learn a lot of new things, which EY do not have. And most importantly, one thing which small and medium term has to learn, and big organization always missed: politics. Office politics is one of the biggest factor of an employee leaving. Biggest factor. And if you do not stop the office politics, then most of the people will quit your organization. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur and wanted to die as an entrepreneur. Big entrepreneur. But one of the reasons behind my quit is the politics. I fed up with office politics. I cannot do politics. You yourself know that I never talked about politics, Hindu, Muslim and all these kind of stuff. One good thing the founder has to do in his organization, small, big, medium, whatever size, is office politics should not come. If office politics come, then I am deeply sorry. This is the end for that organization. With this, I would like to thank you very much. These are my personal opinions towards small and medium term enterprises. To wind up this video, I always feel that small and medium term enterprises have lots of challenges before them, before they convert themselves to Google and Microsoft. But at the same time, challenges are always opportunities. It's up to that individualistic person to see whether he will treat this or she will treat this as a challenge, or he or she will treat this as an opportunity. When I started in July 16, I was having a lot of challenges before me. Even today, when we are about to touch 3 years after 2 months, we have challenges in place. Then the challenges were of revenue, how the company would earn. Today the challenge is to be virtual bank or bank. Once we turn out to be bank in 24-25, then the challenge would be how to be Goldman Sachs. Challenges is always a part of the game. But the question is, are we taking challenges as an opportunities, or we taking challenges just as or we create them as a milestone? I know after watching this video, many Indians will feel irritated, their eyebrows will raise, they will give negative comments. But I would like to answer all these Indians very carefully in one line. I am here to make as many videos as possible till the last breath of my life. Okay? Today I am 34, turning 35 after 1 month. Even if I live till 95, I am going to make videos. Because I know one thing, that if my Lord has given me a direction, then He also instructed me that this direction has to be passed to the society. And here I would like to repeat a statement which is, I think, in Spider-Man 1. I'm not sure Spider-Man 1 or Spider-Man 2, but either of the Spider-Man. This doesn't matter. One of the beautiful statements at the end of the Spider-Man is, big power comes with big responsibility. When I saw this movie when I was a kid, I not understood that. What is the exact meaning of that? But from the last several years, I'm getting a full meaning of that. That big power comes with big responsibilities. Because of few people, those who do not want that the direction to available in public domain freely, knowledge to available public domain freely, Rahul should stop videos? Definitely not. Rahul Magan will continue to shoot videos even if he would know that after 5 minutes the game is over. Like few minutes before his death, Steve Paulin Jobs asked from Tim Cook that how is the production of iPhone going. And Tim Cook was having tears in his eye, so as Mr. Jobs, because both were aware of the fact that the game is maximum 10 minutes or 15 minutes. But still, even at that stage of the life, he was committed. And he is one of the person to whom I always value because of one thing, commitment. Always committed, always on toes. With this, Treasury Consulting, thank you very much. A lot of action is on the cards. My last line, next 3 years, neither you sleep, nor any bank will sleep, neither I sleep. Everyone has to be on the toes because virtual banking doors are open and in June we will give you a very good news live from Hong Kong. I hope you got that. Thank you. Have a good time ahead.